friends. So I wanted to talk about what we're going to do this week. We're going to be working with texture and trying to make texture, especially for our environment that we have. So if you're doing something like grass, right, and maybe you do have markers, maybe you have crayons, maybe you have pencils, you could easily make quick little dashes of a line to make your grass, and then you could easily cut this out, right? You can draw grass also, right? We can cut that out. So if this was our little grass, we could even go around here. I like adding, kind of black lines to things. I think it looks fun. But I would actually cut out that whole shape, right? So grass is pretty easy. Trees, when you think about trees, you might think about the leaves and drawing that pattern, right? Maybe there's some branches. So thinking about things that look like more nature, they might have an organic shape. If you think about water, water might look like really rough, right? It might be like a wave, or it could be kind of smooth. So thinking about that, different ways to draw texture. I started kind of creating some clouds in my artwork. So what I would like you to do, if you have paper of this size, it's okay if you don't. We're going to make a background to our work. If you're working smaller, like a note card, that's going to be the background, and then I'll show you how to do that. So if you're working, and this is going to be my background, meaning my backdrop, right? So I'm in the foreground, middle ground, my desk is in front of me, the store and everything, and the walls behind me. It's my background. So this is going to be your background. So I wanted to kind of create texture and movement. I didn't have blue paper. I didn't want to color my whole paper. So I thought, okay, I'll just kind of play around with this idea of like white on white. So maybe it's kind of a dreary day. So I made my clouds kind of fluffy looking by doing this motion over and over again. So I'm going to glue this down here. So you can make your background however you want. You could draw sky, you could draw grass, you could draw some trees, but think about like what is behind the activity that you see. And for me, I decided to make a scene of a place that I would like to go. So my mother and I went on a road trip, and we did. We drove all the way to Asheville one year. So I've got my two clouds, and then I want a different texture. So we talked about how texture could be actually drawn, but you can also make it, right? I can rip my paper and kind of create that in some way. So I think it's going to come underneath there, maybe. I'm just going to sneak it in underneath if I can. I think that'll work there. So it's adding some texture, right? So now that I have this, this is your next step. I folded this for a reason, okay? The reason is so that I could make it stand up, right? But if we don't give it legs, it will fly away. So you are going to fold the bottom one, right? I like to fold them at the same time, creating a flap, because then you have the same width of the flap. So the first one, you're going to have to kind of undo it here. The first one will go forward. So your artwork on this side, the fold will stay up. If you flip this over, you're going to take this flap and you're going to fold it backwards. Okay? Because what we'll do is we will glue this, and I'm just going to use this sheet. we will glue this so that it stands on our paper, right? So I will glue this little flap down and I'll hold it, and then I'll glue the one behind it down and I'll hold it, and then it will stay. Okay, so this will be our background, and then we can create stuff standing here, right? So I could create some trees, I could make a car stand up and have that be in the middle ground or in the foreground, right? Background, this guy's your background. Everything up here is your middle ground, your foreground. So I started doing something with grass, and we've done that with our playground. And I'm not sure if I'm sold on it, but I have my grass that I did to create this kind of scene, right? I could use this, I might change it, but thinking about how you can make things move forward and creating space and depth by using those simple things like the accordion fold, which is how I made this guy, right? So I just made my accordion, which is like the first thing that we learned. And then this paper was very thick, but I cut a V shape out of here so it looked like grass. So I had that. And then, yep, I have my tabs that I folded and cut so I could create that wall, and I could glue this down so it wouldn't blow away. So I could glue those wherever I want. So again, if you're doing a scene like this, this is kind of how you can create it. If you decide to go in another way, awesome, totally cool. But today is all about texture, so creating texture even with your folds. If you do drawing or painting, I am totally open to whatever materials you guys want to work with. These were done with just a blue pen, which I found in my drawer. And that's just loose leaf, obviously. So thinking about what you can do, what you can build, I look forward to creating with you guys.